Shit, what's this podcast called?
Discourse of Human Events.
The discourse is just crazy.
Everything's okay, I'm just trying to act my age. Yeah, I wanna know where the hell the days go. Yeah, I wanna know where the hell the days go. I wanna look and feel years younger, baby. I wanna look and feel.
What are we dildoing? Let's dildo.
Oh.
Why do you even need to dildo?
Yeah.
It's a tradition. It's a tradition.
Alright.
You can't
By the way,
not dildo.
wait. Somebody asked why we do dildos.
Mhm.
And I feel like the audience needs to know that we're not just obsessed with dildos.
Well, a little bit.
A little
No,
bit.
they are. They're
But-
very much.
We needed to sync when we were at two different locations, and for some reason, the first one I said, let's say dildos.
Yeah.
And then we just
So
continued
that's the
that.
audio he looks for, because I have the audio of my voice. He has the audio of his voice. So you look for that sync point where we both say dildos really loud to sync audio.
And then I can sync the audio. And so when we do it, and we're all in the same room, it's just because we're continuing the tradition.
So, ready? 1, 2, 3. Dildos!
I'm glad your grandma doesn't speak English.
Very, very much glass.
that would be very odd.
Alright, what are we talking about that's not Conor McGregor?
Or also Floyd Mayweather. We're talking Floyd Mayweather then.
Yeah. What do you think his hobbies are?
Beating
can't talk about the fight.
women and boxing.
Is it? Oh, did he get caught?
He's got like a few charges for it.
Oh, you know, I think it should count more if you're like a boxer and you beat your girl.
Yeah, right? It really should.
Unless she's actually pretty good and like, you know, she's in women's boxing and like their fights are like a whole bout.
She got some defense.
Yeah.
Unless she's Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah.
It's actually a fair fight.
Oh,
She's a heavyweight too, not like Mayweather.
Alright, fine.
Yeah, Brianna Talk might be able to take him. Alright, so now it's the MMA fight.
The MMA fight?
Yeah, let's see the MMA fight. McGregor versus Mayweather.
Oh no, there's no chance.
That one doesn't last more than a round.
You know what? I think they take it completely different direction.
They play basketball.
That's what I was going to say. That's the exact thing. One-on-one basketball.
Who would win? I feel like McGregor would just win just from height.
Probably.
But that's all, unless...
But
Mayweather
you're forgetting
actually-
one thing. White
What?
men can't jump.
That's true.
We learned that from a movie.
Unless it's an Irish thing. I don't think the Irish are really into basketball, though.
Okay. Another one McGregor would win. Drinking fight.
Yeah. It's like the movie Almost Heroes. Choose your weapons. I choose drinking.
Isn't like decathlon's like 10 different events, right? Like,
Yeah.
They should have that, like alcohol, and then you do a little boxing, and then you do a basketball game. Depends on the events, but you know, it'll be interesting to see who wins.
It becomes a series.
The important part is the drinking comes first. The rest is much funnier that way.
It's a whole series, Mayweather versus McGregor, and they just do like random events and contests.
Alright, what else do we have to talk about?
What's your opinion on the Irish?
They drink a lot. And they couldn't jump, apparently.
I said opinion, not facts about the Irish.
I
They-
only personally know one Irish person.
I don't know.
She's a redheaded alcoholic.
And she's
Is she?
redheaded, but she's not alcoholic.
How do you know? Do you
So
know
she
personal
hides it
life?
well.
Oh.
I don't think I know any Irish people. Like, completely Irish.
Take it back, actually.
From Ireland
Go
that I
on.
can think of.
Do I know anyone from... I don't know anyone.
Well, move to here, you'll meet plenty. Maybe.
I don't know.
Place.
I don't know if I'll meet Irish people here. I'll meet a
Also
lot of
Irish
Indians
bar.
and Asians.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think San Francisco is an Irish place to go.
San Francisco is
Or
That's where you come from, place to go.
Yeah.
well, San Jose. I don't think a lot of Irish people are like, you know where we need to go? San Jose.
Yeah, we don't grow enough potatoes here.
What, you think they should move to Idaho?
That's probably that's
place
their
for the
spot.
Irish.
Man.
They'll like land there and be like, hey guys, they got potatoes everywhere. We're running out.
It's Irish heaven. They don't even inspect you too much when you beat your wife.
This thing needs to be edited out, man.
Nah. They're white people. You can make fun of them all you want.
Yeah, you can make fun of the Irish. It's all good.
Horrible, man.
These are just facts. Like nobody gets mad about a white person making fun of Canadians.
So,
What do you call a
yeah,
black person from Canada? That's not a setup for a joke because they're
I
not.
thought that was. I don't know.
Canadian?
African Canadian? That's a good question. I don't know if you do call them African Canadians.
Well, technically they're American too. They're
Okay, what do you call a black person from England?
African England?
English?
I don't think you do.
Nope. No
How
matter
awkward
where they are, they're African Americans. You go to Africa, Africa Americans.
African American. That's even worse in Africa. Do you call
Hey, you don't want to be un-PC, man.
Yeah, there's a,
It's such a
there's
poor term.
report, like, it was a live report, and the reporter was talking to someone who is obviously, black, and then she's trying to say, oh, this is Africa. Once you're about to say America, realize that person is actually from Nigeria. So.
This is an African, African. just African. That's all I actually needed.
Nothing really odd about this.
Yeah. It's such an odd
It's
term.
legitimate.
So we got on race again.
I mean, the fact of the term of calling someone African American, it's just bad.
Nope. You
Yeah, I
gotta
don't-
be PC. If I even talk
It's-
about pre-1500 America,
No, just-
it was Africa. It was populated by African Americans before Columbus discovered America.
Before there was America.
Would you say Italian American, French American, German American?
No, you don't do that for...
Yeah, you don't say that.
Well,
But
no,
you
actually,
just say
people in New York
African
do
American.
say that
I
stuff.
would just say Italian, dude.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe.
People do say Italian American and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
It just doesn't come up that much.
Yeah, exactly. You're just Caucasian.
So, I mean, the fact that you come to this country and you integrate into society, why do you still being judged of where you're originally from? Right? And yeah, it's like putting something American, it's like a labeling a group of people. So
Yeah,
try to self-
that's the whole problem with the whole race thing. You have to call somebody African American even if they were from somewhere else, but you have to start that way. I never use the term though.
Like the
I don't
fact-
see what's wrong with white, black, pretty.
Yeah.
I call everyone orange, to be fair.
He was orange, officer. What? He was
He was
an
orange.
Oompa?
And I was a little fucking wasted.
And might drop some acid. That's Donald Trump's color.
Yeah.
Orange.
That's not fake tan. Hashtag fake tan.
Oh my god. What's up with the Trumpster these days? What's he getting into? Any new news?
I don't
with
know.
him?
Apparently, recent has been fighting against.
Oh,
the
he
dog
pardoned
shit.
Arpaio.
Oh, that's what it was. He pardoned somebody.
Arpaio.
Who? What did Arpaio do?
Oh.
He was a sheriff
That's all I knew.
He's doing
of
some racial
Arizona.
profiling.
He was also very anti-immigrant.
Yes, but why was it? What was he pardoned for?
So, here's what I know, and I have
all
not
I read
read
was he's a
very much
sheriff.
details. Is he was obviously racially profiling to
Oh.
pull over people that were speaking Spanish and being like, "Let's see your ID. You don't have ID, or you're gonna get deported, or they alert ICE to get rid of.
Okay.
They'll find undocumented immigrants, whatever." Obviously, it was ruled by a judge, I think, that he was racially profiling. Obviously, he goes, it's probably the guy not speaking English that's not from
Yeah,
here,
I
around
was about
here.
to say, can you really call racial profiling if you pull over Mexicans to try and catch immigrants?
It doesn't even matter. So I don't even know what level of court did this, but at the point that that decision was made, he's supposed to follow through with it, right? That's
okay.
the decision of the court. But he didn't, so he was held in contempt of court
for
not following court order.
What was the court order though? To
Did not
profile?
racially profile.
How can you follow that if your job is to catch immigrants?
I don't know. But
Don't
he did.
really pull. Okay, so I got to pull over all white people to catch immigrants.
Well,
Oh, we got you. You
The
canoe.
thing is, you're supposed to catch them in something else that they do.
Okay.
And then you get an opportunity to see ID. Then they can't produce it.
Yeah.
Then you can
Don't
say
stop
they're
them just because
undocumented.
they're Hispanic.
Yeah.
You have to stop
It's
them
supposed
because
to be
they've
the idea.
broken some kind of law.
But there's always the cops always get around that. They're like, yeah, your taillight was out. Oh, never mind, it wasn't really out. I was just checking on you.
Well, a lot of them just follow you until you go left to center, and then they're going to pull you over for going left to center.
Exactly. But so he was held in contempt of court. He was found guilty of it, all that stuff, and then Trump pardoned him.
I got it.
Now, I don't know if he did anything more serious.
Where was he
or,
from? A sheriff
that was
from-
2 minutes reading Wikipedia. Arizona.
Oh, so there's a new sheriff in town.
No, he's really old, and he's been there for a long time. I think they were complaining about him during the Bush years.
Jesus, really?
Yeah, he's been around a long time. He's been famous. I heard of him a decade ago. He's been very
Racial profiling
whole
since
time.
2001.
He was being Trump before Trump was running for president.
Oh my gosh, I never heard of him. And all I saw on Reddit was he's a sheriff. Like, what? But why was he pardoned?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't pardoned because he was a sheriff. There had to be a reason.
Mm.
They didn't really go into detail on Reddit.
I mean, if you look at San Francisco, I bet you a lot of people are illegal immigrants, right?
You go to Chinatown and you probably
You can
start
see
roping
lots.
up people
Yeah.
easily.
I mean, even I'm not just saying for Asians and Hispanic. Even some white people, if you check, they're illegal immigrants.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Where would the white illegal immigrants most likely be from?
Eastern Europe.
Yeah, Russian.
Czech
Russian?
Republic.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
or Eastern European. I bet you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
The one Chinatown shop we went into, it was like an Indian guy running it. That was weird.
Yeah,
It's like, what the hell?
Shopping Chinatown selling stuff to Americans. That's
Mm-hmm. That's just international. That's cosmopolitan to the max.
really.
That's the forward-thinking San Francisco right there.
Mm-hmm.
Was the sheriff's job actually to catch immigrants, or was it just he was being a sheriff and that's all he was doing?
I think he's doing.
I mean, I think he does sheriff stuff, but
He does sheriff stuff.
but he's been very well known for his
doing
anti-immigrant stance. I think that's why he was elected.
Oh, because
people want it.
Mm.
Yeah.
he's in Arizona, so it's
Yeah.
probably more of a issue
makes
there.
sense.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It's not just illegal immigrants, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's also drug issues.
Oh yeah, I think
Yeah.
he was very anti-drug too. So some people
Oh,
don't like him for that.
Speaking of drug issues, I had a flight where the pilot was talking about he had landed and he got a call from the air traffic controller, and it said they told him, "Hey, we're going to have a team come on board to pull somebody. Make sure you tell them the flight's going to be delayed." And so these basically a SWAT team came on board, pulled this guy from the plane, and obviously it was a scene. And then the pilot was talking to another pilot, and they were sitting in front of me. They're obviously just taking a ride. And he told him this guy apparently had chopped up his girlfriend and put her in a fridge, and so they're just waiting for him to land so they could catch him. And these pilots were talking about it pretty loudly. So when you fly a budget flight, you get budget customers. That's the moral of the story.
Mm.
Maybe if you were well, I guess it wouldn't matter. If you were already on the hook for a crime like that, you might as well fly Virgin or something. Might as well
Treat yourself.
Yeah,
Just treat yourself, because you're probably gonna get caught.
treat yourself right
Before you go to
do it.
prison, don't have airline food from the crappiest airline be your last meal.
And maybe an international flight would have been due.
They'll never find me in Denver.
It's the last place they'll look. Guess you don't hear about too many immigrants going to Denver. Is Denver the high immigrant population? I wouldn't think so.
I don't think so.
I mean, I would
Other
assume
than-
all major cities have immigrants, but
Yeah,
Denver's not exactly known for that. It's the center of the freaking country.
that's true. I do feel like the better approach for the whole illegal immigrant thing is maybe lowering the bar for the immigrant. Like, if they want to come here, give them visas to come here, right? But then you do possess a certain scrutinies after, say, like, check. If you want to come back to, say, like, certain countries, you know, it's a little easier to give out the visas so that if they think about risking their lives going through shuttles, going to America, it would be, you know, bad, right?
Yeah.
Just give them working visa, all right? And then there should be, like,
What do you have to do to get a visa now in America? Do you actually have to have a job, basically?
Not necessarily. There are some ones granted just for I think just by randomness.
What do you mean?
Like, just pure, we'll accept 100 from this country, 100 from this country, just for as a pro-diversity thing.
Oh.
And then there is family things, like if you're related to someone that's already here, you're more likely to get one. I think there's even family
For a
visas,
working
isn't there?
visa or for
Oh,
a green
a working,
card?
no.
Yeah, that's fine.
I guess working visa, yeah.
You have to have a job, right?
A job, yeah.
yeah.
There are a lot more. I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were saying.
You just
working.
have to have a job in the U.S. and they'll give you a working
Yeah, they have various ones for various reasons, but you generally,
Yeah.
the more likely you're needed, the more, like if you're a doctor, you're going to get here.
Yeah, well, what should we find is those business owners who hire illegal immigrants to evade tax, right? That's the ones that should be punished. I mean, if they want to come over to work, you should give them the visa to work. But it's the business owner's responsibility to either A, report it, you know, and also B, put them onto the same health plan, social security, and also, you know, they have to pay tax.
That's for a visa or for the working visa you're talking about?
For all the visa holders.
Okay.
Yeah. So then you won't have people complaining like, oh, they come here to work, they don't pay tax, but they use benefit, right? But if they do come over here and pay your tax and use your benefit, then I think that's a fair deal.
So currently, though, they don't pay taxes or have benefits? Or do they do one or the other?
Because the business owners don't want to report to the immigration office, right?
Uh-huh.
So what they do is they pay cash for the illegal immigrants.
No, I'm saying someone that does have a working visa. Do they pay taxes?
Yeah.
Do they
Yeah,
have
say, like,
There's
tax
some
benefits?
exempt though. Like you don't pay as much as normal, right?
No. If you're a student, you're exempt.
Oh, you're no longer exempt entirely.
Yeah, but if you're not a student and you're actually a worker, you're not exempt for anything.
But can you get the same benefits as a U.S. citizen?
Oh,
Yeah, you do.
when you're on OPT, you're still exempt.
What the
Yeah,
hell's
no,
OPT?
student.
So that's you've graduated and now you're looking for a job. You got a job.
It's called internship.
Yeah. So
Why
you're
is it called OPT?
It's
You down with OPT? Yeah, you know me.
occupational practice and training or something.
Term? Is it term?
whatever. But once you become an H-1B, then you're paying taxes just like everybody else.
What the hell's an H-1B? You can't just be throwing out these terms like everybody knows what that means.
That's the classification for the general worker, like in
working.
IT at least, in our level.
No, it's all foreign
Professional.
workers.
That's not all. There's like an L1, I think. What's that one?
Oh,
I thought that's like the ones that we definitely
No,
need.
L-
You don't have to
L1
get
is
anything.
the
You're very
transfer,
fast
right?
tracked. Which one's the one that's
So what would a
like
doctor
if-
be?
Yeah, not just doctor. Like you're a physicist in like nuclear
Oh.
research, and we definitely don't want you working for anyone else.
Yeah!
There's one where it's like you're definitely
Yes.
coming here.
We will take you,
I
Einstein.
thought that was L1.
let's see. L1 is a intra-company transferee. Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm wrong about L1 then.
L1 facilitates temporary transfer of foreign workers in managerial, executive, or specialized knowledge category to the U.S. to continue employment with an office of the same employer.
Okay,
Parent
so that's you're already
branch,
employed by a U.S. company in a foreign country. Now you're coming here
yeah.
to work. For
I
the
thought
company
that's
you
what
already
she
work
said for L1.
That's
Yeah.
L1.
Oh, okay.
I was
that
trying
is
to
L1.
remember.
Okay.
There's one classification that's like you're just gonna get it. You're
like-
basically fast tracked to a green card.
No,
Okay.
but if you are working on some highly classified research facility, right,
Mhm.
and you are actually very good, then you can apply for the EB1A and EB1B.
Okay, those are the ones.
No, those are green card application types.
Okay.
So usually those are being processed really fast.
Mm.
I didn't know there's this many levels.
There's
to
an
green
insane
card.
level of bureaucracy to it.
Yeah, it's
So-
ridiculous.
So basically, if you are a foreigner and you come over here for extended amount of time, you would know. or
No wonder we have so
research
many
levels.
illegal immigrants. Jesus, I would get
What's-
confused after this.
Yeah, and
I'm
what's
already
interesting,
confused.
you can look up all their salaries. They won't have their names, but you can go look up what company.
They have public salaries.
Yeah, they have
Wow.
to publish how many people they've hired,
Uh-huh.
how much they pay them, etc. So you can see. That's usually the best way to see what a company pays people. Is just see what they pay their
To see what they
employees.
pay them.
Yeah.
Would they pay them less though?
No.
Or do they actually pay them?
They actually pay them generally the same, but
Move your mouth.
you might take an extremely senior guy, right?
Uh-huh.
And you might say, well, he's a junior guy, and you pay him a junior person's salary, even though he's very
but
senior.
he's actually a senior
technically.
worker. But you'll know the junior salary then.
Yeah.
It would come up.
So that's how they get around it.
It's actually don't happen that often, especially in Silicon Valley.
Not here.
If you're of a high skill, your skill will be valued.
I feel like I've seen that before. Like, people like 10 years older than me, when I just got in, were like, well, they're below you. Really? Oh, okay, I guess. I don't know. But
And
they
there
were
could be, like-
experienced.
Okay. Well, I don't know much details.
So how long do you need a green card before you become a citizen then?
10 years?
Citizen. Green card?
Yeah. You have to actually apply to be a citizen. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be
Yeah.
a citizen.
You
Okay.
can forever hold a green card and not be a citizen.
Then you just
It's
don't get
up
to vote.
You if you want to get a citizenship. So
But if you apply, does it take 10 years then?
No, it doesn't.
The
It's
application
No, but-
date?
it's actually pretty fast.
If you have a green card, do you have to have it for 10 years before you can get...
That's what I was about to say.
I don't know.
That was a while.
Or is it like if I have a green card for 9 years, it'll take me only 1 year to become a U.S. citizen?
I don't know. Why would I need to look
It's
into it?
actually not exactly beneficial. Like
Mm.
you're trading basically for those countries who don't allow dual citizenship. If you join American citizenship, basically means you're giving up your own country citizenship. So if you
Yeah.
ever go back to your own country and visit your family friends, you need to get your own country's visa. That's another layer of complexity, right?
Mm.
So having a PR status is actually a lot more beneficial for traveling.
Yeah, just it's so much more complicated than people
Yeah.
would expect, and that's why.
Yeah, that's always
It's kind of
one thing.
obvious that there's
When you
illegal
watch
areas.
the media, it's all everything's oversimplified
Yeah.
to no end.
Yeah, I mean, just like because I am a foreigner and I happen to work in the United States, so I research all those stuff, right?
Yeah.
You need to obey the rules and
I just
do
hear
your
it from
due
coworkers
diligence.
complaining.
Do your due diligence, and then if that doesn't work, then you figure something out, right? So
Yeah. What?
I don't know. It's just because
They're
they're all
paralegal.
qualified paralegals,
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
guess.
yeah, I just think it's reasonable for me to know this because I'm a
Because you
foreigner.
have to look into it.
Yeah.
She's a foreigner.
Yeah, there's no reason for us. Of course, you and I didn't know anything about green cards or immigrants or anything. Because why would we? Especially in Ohio.
I know one thing.
What?
They took her derbs.
They took our
Derbs.
derbs. They
Derbs.
took our derbs. With their damn visas.
I mean, if you look at the big companies in Silicon Valley, you'll find that a very limited amount of people is actually from Native America. You do find a lot of people from Europe.
Of all the people on my team, I'm the one.
Run
Hey, you're the one white guy?
from
I'm the one U.S.
other
citizen,
Asian
yeah.
countries, and a lot of them were from Europe. Yeah, and actually, I learned this recently. Like a significant amount of them was actually from Russia because they are good programmers.
Really? Russia is?
Yeah.
The
I guess they have
Jewish guy, he's also Russian that I work with.
Huh.
It's
I wouldn't expect Russia to be like a big programming.
I heard that
country.
the theory
Yeah.
for them is that...
Are you kidding? Who do you think writes all the malware and all the shady shit? I'm sorry, but that's where it's mostly
Have
comes
you
from.
heard of a company called the Capacity?
No.
It's one of the largest anti-malware companies in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
They know all the
Russia.
tricks because they write it all.
God damn it, you Trump and your Russians!
So, I've heard a theory why they're so good at programming is that that was before, 2000.
Mm-hmm.
When you learn to program because of the environment that not everyone can afford a computer, so you get limited amount of time to actually go on a computer and program. So in this case, you have to have your algorithm all written in your head. Or actually
I think Russians have always had like a history of being
they're very good at math.
and they've always had tons of chess masters.
True.
There's a
But
lot
only the
of, there's a
parts
lot of
in Asia.
analytical thinking that's kind of glamorized.
I mean, let's face it, in Moscow, most of the time it's fucking snowing outside, okay? You either
What
do
else you gonna do?
or you do something
Yeah,
else.
so the Russians that don't drink themselves to death are sitting there nerding out on weird stuff.
In between the vodka, you make some chess moves.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they were the other ones to go to space.
A lot of
So I guess they do
research
have to have that
facilities
kind of-
either A, fucking in the middle of desert, or B, in the place where it snows a lot, or surrounded by cornfield. Why? Because in a big city, it's not necessarily helping the researchers focus on the problem.
Mm.
That's really the only stereotype you really hear about Russians is that they're
They drink
really
vodka.
hard and they drink vodka. You never hear that stereotype of, oh, those Russians and their programming and chess moves. You don't really hear that
Chess,
stereotype.
I guess.
I know for there are several ACM ICPC international contests.
What?
The top guy is always Russian for a
For
long
what?
time.
For what was it?
The international programming contest.
International Programming Contest.
Yeah.
Jeez. So they literally are, like...
Russian.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard that stereotype, but I guess it makes
It's
sense.
Russian or Asian.
Speaking of programming, we just talked to this guy yesterday. Apparently there's a game called Shenzhen IO.
Oh yeah.
It's a video
my
game you can
friend.
download on Steam.
Uh-huh.
And the game is, do you know where Shenzhen is? It's an area in China.
Uh-huh.
So the
Well,
game
the
is,
iPhones manufacturers are sort of located near that
Okay.
place.
you play a programmer in Silicon Valley that gets tired of the life here.
day-to-day job.
Yeah. So he moves back to Shenzhen in China
Mm-hmm.
and starts writing assembly code.
No. You first look at emails and
Oh
reply
yeah,
to
that's how you
emails,
start.
and then you do work, which is writing assembly code.
No. That's what you do in Shenzhen is you write assembly code.
Yeah, assembly code in Shenzhen. And
Yeah, you don't write it in America. You write some high-level stuff, and you get tired of it, and you move to Shenzhen,
Uh-huh.
and you write assembly code. Most of the game is actually writing assembly code.
Oh, okay.
They give you two manuals, right?
Mhm.
Two PDF menus. You have to read it.
Yeah.
That's like fucking in Math Blaster in those games
Yeah.
back in the day.
They said, like, it gets both super high reviews and super low reviews, and they both say the same thing. This is just like my job. So it's either they really love their job or they really hate it.
That's funny. That is really funny.
That can be pretty fun.
A game where you actually just sit there and program.
Yeah.
Math Blaster was a great game. Do you remember Math Blaster?
Is that the one where you type?
You're like,
That's where the numbers come out and you try to add them?
yeah, basically you're like in a ship and then they have like, not necessarily adding, but they have math problems coming at you. And to shoot them before they shoot your, like, to hit your ship, you have to do the math.
Mm.
So you have to, like, it's like comets basically coming at you, another ship. So you have to, like, type them all out.
I remember the one, so it was in typing class in like 7th grade.
Yeah.
Like you're drag racing, and the faster you type, the faster your car goes.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was a good one.
That's actually pretty cool.
That's definitely how I learned to type.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird, but it does motivate you.
Yeah.
More than just sit there
Type
and
these letters.
type and try to get your words per minute better.
I wonder if they still have typing class in the schools. You'd think they'd have to, right?
Why do they need to? You don't
I don't
have
know.
typewriters
When we
anymore.
did it in 9th grade,
Because you need to know how to use
is
a
the most
keyboard.
boring shit. That lady would just walk back and forth and go A S D F J K L semicolon. That was like the first few days. You
Yeah.
go J K L semicolon. She just repeats
I
everything.
feel like
you
when
used to
we
do
were
it.
in typing class, we already had a computer for a decent amount of time, so it wasn't like
Yeah,
super new to
it
us.
was like, yeah, this class is set up for like 15 years ago.
Yeah, that's very true.
And those noonday job like typist essentially are being replaced by computers, right? So being automated.
I wonder if
So, you know,
millennials are much better at just typing on a phone rather than on a keyboard.
Yeah, maybe.
I bet you they are.
I just don't. I
it's a
think
good
like
job.
yeah, but your maximum rate of typing on a phone is gonna be nowhere near a keyboard.
Oh no, for sure. But I'm just saying, in general, I wonder if it's like they're not used to the QWERTY keyboard as much as they are on a phone, as opposed to a keyboard.
Hmm.
I have to ask the millennials I know. Like, are you good at typing on a keyboard?
Hmm. Technically, we're millennials.
That's so weird though.
Yeah, we were Gen Y until they decided to change it, I guess.
What?
We're like the upper echelon though.
Yeah, we're the upper part of millennials now. But we were Gen Y, millennials didn't exist, and then the marketing teams came up with, okay, if you basically, after the teenage years, definitely had internet throughout all your teenage years, I
Yeah.
think then you're a millennial. Is
But we
maybe the
had it
definition.
pretty early.
It started as if you were born in like 2000 as part of the new millennium or something like that, and it's
That's how I understand it.
No.
by definition.
No,
Now it's
millennials
like
where you basically were
1980
raised
something.
in the 2000s.
yeah, I don't know.
Like your
Like
formative
you
years
make
were in
this
the
shit up as they
2000s.
Hmm.
That's what I see it as. So we were like early. Like
Mm.
me at 87 is pushing it. You at what, 85?
84.
84 is. You might not be considered a millennial.
I'm pretty sure I am.
I don't think
I'm
you
pretty
are.
sure I am.
If you
Like
are,
I said, I know I was
you're
Gen
like
Y
the-
for like a decade. Now I'm a millennial.
you're like literally the last
87
tier.
or 88?
87.
Okay.
You'll
Because I figure most of them are like 90 to 95 born. What is the millennial generation?
1982.
82. Damn, they did push it back.
82 to 2004.
Wait, does that make Josh a millennial? Is there he 1 year off?
No, he is. He's a millennial.
That makes no sense.
I know, it's just stupid.
He's definitely an 80s, more 80s, 90s. He's a 90s. Grew up with 90s as
Yeah, I
his
feel like we had
formative
very
years.
different childhoods,
Yeah.
and I feel like anyone that grew up and like was born in the 90s had a very different childhood than me.
Yeah.
Extremely different.
I don't know. I think about the early 90s,
Yeah.
not as different.
No, but here's the... so if you were born in like 1994,
Yeah.
you do not remember...
I'm saying like 92 and below.
Yeah. Either way, even 90. If you're born in 1990, I don't think you remember the internet not existing. I remember the internet not existing.
Yeah, that's true.
I remember it not being a
that
thing.
a lot. And I remember dial-up being
Yeah.
the thing.
I
Like,
remember
that
the
was-
creation.
Yeah.
I remember my first time I was on Google. I remember...
Yeah, I remember the first time we were on the internet was AOL.
Yeah, AOL.
Fucking DOS.
I saw the whole thing,
Yeah.
but people born in 1990...
I remember my
they
first
didn't.
Mac
They
computer.
were 5 years old at the time.
Do you remember the first Mac computers in 5th grade?
Yeah.
We got Mac
You
computers
did a
in
little
elementary.
drawing and animation. That was their best program when you were little.
They had the Mac computers that had the like different colors. They're like red and green and stuff.
Mm.
Man, those were. We're old.
Yeah, no. I even remember a teacher having the Newton.
What?
The Newton. What's the
Yeah, go
Newton?
ask your Apple employees about the Newton. All your old timers. So before there was an iPhone, in the 90s, Apple put out their own PDA, Personal Digital Assistant.
Do you,
That's what
I
came
remember the
before
term
iPods
PDA.
and
That's how
iPhones.
old we are.
Oh.
They were like little pocket things, and you had a stylus.
Yeah. I
And, like,
remember
They were like cell phones before the cell phones actually had the phone
Yeah.
part.
that. before the touch screen cell phone.
Yeah.
The one thing I remember that was at that time blew my mind when I saw it. My teacher had it. One of the teachers. She would write something, right? Just in her handwriting.
I thought like one of the early one was the HP.
Yeah, but one of the good ones was the Newton.
Okay.
With a lot of investment. So she'd write something in handwriting, and then you take your stylus, and you scribble over it, and then you wait about 3 seconds, maybe 5.
And refresh.
And then it shows an explosion like animation where it explodes and then it disappears.
Oh.
I was like, holy shit, that's the coolest tech I've ever seen or will ever see in my life.
My Lord.
I remember being, like, this was early 90s, like maybe 95 or something that they came out with it. It was way ahead of its time, but it still wasn't good enough that it was actually worth using.
No.
Dude, do you remember that fucking Hot Rod game on DOS? That game was awesome.
Yeah. You know that was supposed to be like a huge vector for viruses.
Was it really?
Yeah, we probably got a virus from that. Like, that was like, because, like, at the time you didn't have the internet, right?
Yeah.
So all you did was you got a very popular video game, and you put a virus on it, and you put it on a floppy disk, and you gave it to people.
Yeah.
So most people ended up getting copies that...
That's so funny, though, because back
viruses.
in the day there was no reason to do viruses except just to fuck people over.
Yeah, kind of, I don't...
Now there's, like, actual things you can use with
because
malware.
what's the point? You don't have the internet to connect to.
Exactly, you don't get
to
anything, you just screw people over.
It's for the lulz, man.
Yeah,
It's
it
always
really
for
is.
the lulz.
They also had that, Chips Challenge. That was the best game.
Chips Challenge, which one was that?
That was the one where you, like, you had to move blocks to get to the chips. Like, microchips.
What?
You'll remember when you see Chips Challenge. It had a very green and... Dude, how do you not remember Chips Challenge, man? This game was great. You had to put blocks over the fire.
I vaguely remember this.
Dude, this game was so good.
I remember this game where you move blocks around to solve a puzzle. And I always
That's
remember,
this game, man.
No.
You gotta get the keys,
No,
you gotta get the chips.
I remember one of the things was they ranked you by, like, your IQ score or something. And, like, you were Einstein or Wile E. Coyote or something. It was like an old fucking DOS game.
The other,
I don't think I played this as much. I
Jezzball.
kind of like this, though.
Jezzball was great.
I do remember that one, where you try to capture the balls that are bouncing around.
No, Chloe, you never had any of these games?
No. You know what her child was? Studying.
That's not true.
It was preparing to study.
Oh, gee.
Studying to study. I can't believe you don't remember Chips Challenge. I felt like you played this a lot.
Wow.
Chinese video games at the time were you click a button, it says, "Are you doctor yet?" And then you keep clicking, still not doctor yet.
Why you no doctor yet?
That's racist.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see, what's an early one? I remember playing Mario on DOS.
On DOS?
Yep, DOS.
There were ports.
These weren't... This was not DOS. This was like 95 or
No,
so.
the one I was talking about is DOS.
Yeah, I don't remember that one. There was another one that was like a Dungeon Explorer game. What was that?
There was the old Japanese game. It's the Bubble Dragon or something. Like you shoot bubbles, right, and it's keep going down.
I think I know what you're talking about, kind
I
of.
remember playing that.
I remember there was this one DOS one where at one point we had an old computer and it worked fine. But the thing is, we got a newer one. And we put it in, and it was like enemies would come at you and you basically try to dodge the enemies. You move your little guy around. So in the old one, fine. You put it in the new one, the enemies, like, as soon as you start the game, right to you. Like, not a single chance. Like, it was very dependent on processor speed.
So they were very fast.
It was hilarious. Like, you didn't quite understand what was going on at the first time, and you're like, why?
I don't think we ever understood
But
at that time that was
like, in
processor
retrospect, I understand now that it was like,
Hey,
oh.
As I say, we never understood
No
why.
matter where you do that, it's going to be crazy.
Do you think back in the days that game was written in assembly? So that's
Probably.
the way that I would think. Like if you use the standard C library, you'll be able to get from the CPU time, to get to the second.
That's what.
Yeah.
So if you actually depends on frequency, the one explanation is that you are using assembly.
That's what they say Roller Coaster Tycoon was written in, I think, Assembly?
Yeah, that dude wrote the whole freaking thing in Assembly.
Which is...
That was
I
like
know
a
is
game in the late 90s.
way
It was
more
actually
than needed.
way beyond DOS. It was heavily...
That was a great game,
actually, yeah, a lot of logic, a lot of graphics.
Really good game.
Crazy stuff.
One of the few games I got addicted to is Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Always new and exciting ways to figure out how to kill people.
They changed it with like a 3D one, and it was not good. It was not good.
I wonder how many games like I'd go back that I know I loved at the time, and I'd just like
I've played
this
Jezzball.
is pure shit.
Jezzball's still good. Chip's Challenge. is
Yeah,
still good.
ones that have simple mechanics are always going to stay the same.
Roller Coaster Tycoon's still good. I played that recently.
That's not that complex of a mechanic.
Worms Armageddon. I bet you that's still good.
Yeah,
And that is a complicated game.
I'm thinking more like...
What else do you need? I just named like some awesome fucking games.
I feel like all the ones... Okay. Like if you watch the Angry Video Game Nerd, like, and he goes through Simon's Quest 2, I remember really liking that game. But then you, like, in retrospect, you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, that was actually pretty shit.
Yeah. I don't know. Some of the old games got stuff just right. Like, they just wanted to be a fun game. Now there's so much focus on graphics, they forget to make a fun game. Like Chip's Challenge, you don't... All it is a puzzle game. You don't need to have crazy graphics. Jezzball is such a simple game. You don't need to have crazy graphics. Dude, the Windows XP, the pinball game, that game was great.
But here's the thing, like, now, would you, if it shipped with a pinball game,
It was good.
Windows, would you really just
If
bring
it
it up
was
and start
good.
playing? Would you?
I've never played any new Windows games. 'Cause
Exactly,
they've never
like,
been good.
there's too many things to play other than that. Or too many shows on Netflix, there's just too much shit nowadays.
Yeah,
There's just
I
too
used-
much shit.
I
Yeah.
used to play Minesweep a lot.
Minesweep was a good one. It took forever to even figure out how that game was played.
Yeah, I remember like competing with one of my friends back in the middle school. Like, she was able to do 10 seconds less than me to clear the whole board.
But
got into it.
doesn't that always come down to like a 50-50 at some
Yeah,
point
yeah,
with
it's lucky,
flags?
lucky shot. Like,
Yeah,
sometimes
you always have to.
I never liked it because I feel like I eventually just settled on an algorithm and I didn't even, like, think. It's just like, okay, if
at
these
some
things are here,
point-
I click that. If these
Yeah.
things are, like, you know...
Well, that's the game, though.
Yeah, that's at some point.
yeah, it's always the, like, I could just
At some
let
point,
somebody else play this for me.
that fucking ski game.
Oh,
always
yeah.
bullshit.
That was always impossible. You had
Yeah.
to give up on that ski
There's
game.
always like
that
after
fucking
like,
monster that
Yeah.
chases you.
he always just got you every goddamn time. You're
Bullshit.
like, what's the point of this game? I don't understand.
How often did you play Solitaire when you first got Windows? Do you remember
I played
playing
that
that?
a lot.
Yeah.
I didn't play that.
It was always the most exciting thing. When you won, they had an animation where
All the
that
cars
goes
connect,
like...
yeah.
Yeah. It was really exciting at
And
the
then-
time. It was a cool animation.
When you got tired of Solitaire, you're like, what the hell is this freestyle game?
Uh-huh.
And it took forever to
No,
figure
I
it
never
out, but it's
figured it
actually a
out.
good game.
I just gave up on it.
I don't remember how it's
complex.
played, but I did figure it out.
Which one?
Freestyle?
I don't remember how it was
I
played.
don't remember.
I don't remember how it's played either, but I remember learning it at the time.
Do you remember Yahoo Games, too? Way back when?
Yeah, we used to play like poker and stuff a lot.
Yeah,
Chess.
Yahoo Games. Like, that was the first one that you could go on the internet. You could play people at chess. You could play them at euchre, poker, all that stuff. Like, you could go and play these games against people who could be on the entire other side of the world.
You could play Mortal Kombat with your friend in Vietnam. It really is true, though. What year would that be when we started playing, like... When did we get the internet?
95.
Was that
Late
when-
95, early 96.
That's when we got the internet.
Almost guarantee you.
Really?
Yep.
Man, that dial-up is awful.
It's when almost, like, a good percentage of America got it. Because Windows 95 shipped. That came with Internet Explorer. And that's why we bought a new computer. Dad tried to get the internet on our old computer. We couldn't get it.
Oh.
because we had Windows 3.1, and that's the only
I
thing
think
you
he
could load.
still has that compact computer up in the office that will never be used ever again in the history of mankind.
Technically, you can go on the internet. You just need a telnet.
Yeah,
then
that's
you
true.
won't be able to read
It's not the
code
same.
and trying to
We weren't
figure
gonna
out-
go for it. You had to basically
Yeah.
be at a university to even know that shit existed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like we did not. I mean, you whatever was on the news is what you knew. Like it's a whole different world. Like before the internet, and then like after, like the world has very much changed.
Yeah.
I remember.
That's so true.
So compared to my peers, my family got the computer relatively early, but it's still later than you guys. For a fact. But I do remember like reading things on the internet,
Yeah.
especially on the forums, right? And the perspectives on the forums way back when the censorship is pretty much non-existent. All right, as long as you don't
Oh,
say
yeah.
anything that's really illegal,
Fuck the government.
you're good, right? So no, fuck the government probably be not so much okay, but you get just little bit things like freedom of speech. Yada, yada,
You can
yada.
say that shit in... Yeah, I don't think
In
there's...
chat rooms back then. you
Age,
could do
sex,
it.
location, dog.
But in a weird way, when we first got it,
Yeah.
it was actually way more controlled.
Yeah,
First
Yeah.
of all, AOL, like,
they will
it's
have
not just an
censorship.
internet browser. They get to see everything you write, everything you visit, everything.
Yeah.
And they would
Yeah.
ban you if you did stupid shit. They would, like, block you from chat rooms, all
Yeah,
that stuff.
if you like spammed a chat room
Yeah.
and just said like the same thing over, you'd get kicked out.
Yeah, you'd get banned. And then the only search engine was Yahoo. And it wasn't a search engine. The way it worked was, it was a directory. It was supposed to be like the phone book.
I see.
So when you had a website, you would submit it to them, and they would review it, and they would either add it to their directory or not.
Yeah.
And almost everyone used Yahoo.
Mhm.
So basically, they had to
GeoCities.
approve everything.
Back then I remember not visiting Yahoo, of course. There's a website called Sina, which is a Chinese version.
Was it a directory?
Kind of like that. It's like the website design was horrible, right? You have like text scrambled on the top and on the bottom, like really dense, a lot of information. So basically, you go online, go to each of the link, anything that sounds interesting to you, and then you browse, right? And then later on, you learn there's other websites. So there's still like no such a concept of search for that other website. You do learn somehow there's other website that exists. Then you click and you save it, and then you visit the next time.
Yeah.
Right? Like not until much later, and there's some people say, "Oh, there's a thing called Google." You know? And then, unfortunately, it used a couple of years, and the government decided, like,
Google
sorry, no Google.
Kinda late.
Yeah, it wasn't
Google's
Google.
kinda late.
Yeah.
It was-
Hotbot, Yahoo.
Yeah, I remember
SGs.
before Google, Northern Lights. They
Yeah.
were the one that was
I
like...
remember having like 4 or 5 go-tos.
They were a good competitor, like Northern... They were definitely like 5 or 6 search
Yeah.
engines. ABC bought a search engine. They had, was it Go.com? ABC used to own one of the biggest competitor search engines.
Let's see.
Disney, ABC/ABC.
No, Disney haven't bought ABC at the time. Yes,
In
sir.
like the late 90s, early 2000s?
I don't think it's early, right? When does Disney buy ABC?
Like, I was in high school around here.
I don't know, Google had to have some goddamn foresight to realize how much they could monetize a search engine. Because it did not, like, we used them all, but to think that you could monetize it was unheard of.
It's okay.
It's 96.
96, so yeah, I was right. They definitely bought a search
That was
engine.
early, okay.
I can tell you they bought one. And then, it's so crazy to think, like, okay, so 1994, amount of time I spent on the internet, 0. How much today, hours in a day, do you think you spend on the internet?
So much.
Oh my gosh. Like, even for my job, it's a lot. So it doesn't even, like...
Yeah. But no, you don't always, you're not like every hour of the hour.
But
you're
I
on the
use it a
internet.
lot for my job, and sometimes, yeah, man.
What do you think?
I'm trying to think. It has to be at least 4 or more.
I'd say
well,
6.
shit, if I'm
easily.
counting watching Netflix, there's gotta be
Yeah.
8 or more sometimes. Easy.
I say 6. I
Yeah.
think about 6 probably at least a day.
Yeah.
Well,
I would say 6 to 8, which is a third of your goddamn day.
Yeah. A third of your day is internet. A thing that didn't even exist.
But you also now have it in your
20
pocket.
years ago. Yeah.
Like,
didn't exist 20 years ago,
Yeah.
but now it's a third of your day.
yeah,
Goddamn. No wonder.
And that's
we're
why
like-
there's so much investment in this shit.
Yeah.
back in the day, there's no such thing called a Stack Overflow.
What
You know how hard
Oh,
it is to
no,
figure
no.
out thing how to work.
did you know what was before Stack Overflow? Why they even built it? What was before?
No.
Oh, you weren't programming before then. I was.
Alright.
It was this thing called Experts Exchange. That was the whole reason. The guys that built it were Jeff Atwood and Jeff Spolsky.
Jeez, you fucking nerds.
I remember reading the blog post when they were complaining about Experts Exchange and why they're building this thing.
What is
I
Experts
actually really like
Exchange?
Jeff Spolsky. He writes really good things. You should read it as a software engineer. But anyways, the point is, Expert Exchange. You Google your question for programming.
Right.
You go to it,
Mm-hmm.
and then say there are 20 answers, right?
Mm-hmm.
They show you the first one, not like the most voted, the most highly voted, whatever it is. The rest are blocked. You know there are 19 other answers, and you say unblock. First thing that pops up, subscribe, like $20 a month.
Oh, God.
I see.
One of
Like,
those.
and anytime you Googled like a programming question, like they were the first 20 results. Like you had to dig like
That's
fucking crazy.
frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
okay.
don't know how much of a godsend Stack Overflow is.
So Stack Overflow is just
You had to
a
actually
website to
figure
submit
shit out sometimes
IT
before that
questions.
existed.
Back in the day, you buy a book and you read
That's what I
it,
did, yeah.
and you figure things out, right?
Yeah, it's very...
It's like, okay.
Again, the internet has replaced my reading books.
It's
I don't.
maybe a little offensive to say that, like the internet does set back on people's reading abilities, like
Mhm.
reading a book. Like back in the day, you pick up a book with good technology in there. They put right sample codes. You're supposed to figure it out by yourself, right?
Mm.
And now people just how do I do this? And then somebody put into the
Hey,
GitHub and
hey.
it's like, hey, just work it.
Chloe, what's an exclamation point for in, what's the programming language you were talking about yesterday?
Swift.
Yeah, what's an exclamation point for?
I don't know.
But you put them in your code. You physically typed them because that was the answer.
No, the compiler suggested.
Oh.
Uh,
I thought you said you Googled it and they're like, oh, you should put an exclamation point there. Okay, whatever. That's what you said. I don't know why.
No,
I don't even know why.
That's not Google. It's just
Oh.
the Xcode suggested.
I see.
It's crazy. So basically, we need more time in the day.
Yeah.
Fit
It's
it
too
in.
much internet, too many movies that I get mostly through the internet.
Do you remember the time when you actually look through Google? You do have to go through page 5, page 6 to find the answer that you need.
Mhm.
Nowadays, people are so spoiled. Like, if it doesn't exist in the first page, it doesn't exist.
Mm.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Or you're Googling wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You're fucked up on your Google too. But I feel like Google's pretty damn good about what,
And
what
also,
you need to know.
what I miss about the old days is like, it's back in the day, I don't know, I used a software called Emo.
Email? Mule?
Yeah.
Yeah, I use that. You connect to other people's computer and download shit.
It's a P2P network.
Email, I
You
do
remember
remember that.
You can find a lot more
Stuff.
rare shit from them.
Yeah.
Even
Very
for Napster or
obscure-
whatever.
Yeah, very obscure. Like, I'm not talking about like like porn or that kind of stuff. I'm sure you can find.
You
it,
can find
but
more obscure porn that way.
Yeah, you can find that. That
I'm
definitely
saying,
existed
you
there
could-
too.
You can find some like the
Yeah.
textbook written in the 1940s only existed fucking 2 copies in the library, but
Yeah.
you do find some people like made a photocopy and upload on email. That's
Yeah.
how you find
Yeah.
the textbook.
Well, they didn't like all you did to share stuff on email is you pointed to like a certain folder on your drive, and whatever you had there,
Yeah.
it was searchable. So people pointed, and people just randomly had weird shit.
I remember after that it was Livewire. Was that what it was called?
LimeWire.
LimeWire.
Yeah.
Remember that? That was like one of those first.
It's crazy how
P2P.
long torrents have lasted.
Yeah.
Because, like, it was almost from 2000 to about 2009. Every 2 years, 2 to 3 years, it changed. It was like
Yeah. What you
Napster,
used?
Kazaa, LimeWire,
Kazaa,
Emule,
yeah.
eDonkey, or
Yep.
something. There was another Emule ripoff
Yeah,
of some
eDonkey.
sort.
Mini Nova.
That was a torrent. That was 2000 and...
Yeah.
Oh, that was a torrent.
2009.
Yeah, that is a torrent.
And I guess the torrent sites change, but they're always torrents.
Yeah.
Zach, please edit out that we're in this podcast to say that I work at Apple. Please
Okay.
edit out. Because we're talking about torrent, and I think what fundamentally doesn't agree with Apple is everything on the internet should be shared free.
What?
It should be shared free. Just like you buy a book, you give the book to share the book with your friends. Your friends shouldn't have to pay the book publisher anything.
Yeah, to
Right?
give it to somebody else. Yeah.
P2P sharing should be free.
Yeah.
Just like music, just like movies, just like books.
You just copy ones and zeros in a sequence.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why are they trying to ban that?
That's why I always hated the you wouldn't steal a car. I'm like, well, yeah, but if I could copy your car and
I
just
would
print
copy
it
the
out,
fuck out of it.
I'll definitely do that.
It's not like somebody owned a car before you took it, somebody doesn't own
Yeah.
a car anymore, right?
Exactly.
It's like, you own a car, and duplicate it.
The argument
But
is they lose money from that.
The argument is then they have no incentive to ever create the car because everyone's going to get a copy. So the only value in it is that they're the ones that have it.
But the internet has taught us that
Or
people,
whoever they give it to
Yeah.
will have it, and they get some payment from them, and that gives them an incentive to create. The thing is, I think the incentives go way, way too far, like 80 years, or like life of the author plus 80 years, I think it is.
even
now.
20
Something
years was
crazy.
too long.
Yeah, it's insane, absurd.
But here's the thing, also, there's always people willing to pay for the content.
Mm.
The internet has taught us people are willing to pay for it. Even after, there's been people that have released stuff on the internet for free and put it in stores, and people will buy it through the stores.
Yeah.
That's happened many times now.
Mm.
In fact, Tim Ferriss talked about he put his book online for free and then advertised it through BitTorrent websites, and people hassled him for it.
Well, for your argument, right? People have no incentive in creation.
Mm-hmm.
But this one example, if you use software as an example.
Mm-hmm.
So, have you heard of a game engine called Stingray?
Nope.
So, it was pretty popular among the indie developers, right? And it was before the Unity took off. And then there were open source that people were heavily banking it until Autodesk bought it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And after
Drove it into the
Autodesk
ground.
bought it, and they were like, all right, you want to open source? Nope. It's become closed source. And guess what? Nobody uses it anymore.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what's doing underneath it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a bug or anything, you couldn't
Yeah.
figure out the turnout.
Certainly too.
Yeah.
True. They have the incentive to buy up competitors and just be like, fucking close it down.
Yeah. And if you have it open source, you also welcome other people to look at your code and also, bug fixing, create a pull request for your code.
Yeah.
And essentially build up a community that they have their own contributions. Of course, they will use that more rather than they pay and use a product. Your product shit. No, they're not gonna use
Yeah, that's
it.
what I'm saying. The incentive to just build a community around whatever you're creating is more powerful than trying to make a bunch of money off of it.
No, it's definitely powerful to make a bunch of money. But if that didn't exist, people would still make all the same things.
Exactly.
You wouldn't lose that much.
That's what I
They just
mean.
wouldn't make huge fucking piles of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. What I think the people should do, the company should do, is open source their software, allow the people to criticize and judge it. What people are actually paying for is technical support. Right? Rather than digging into a code base, you say hey, you pay this money,
Think so?
we help you. Yeah.
What do you think Red Hat's share price is? Because that's what they do. Let's look this up. Let's look this shit up, Jamie.
I got a question. Have you ever paid for Photoshop or any Adobe product?
No comment.
I paid for it.
That's what I thought. What? Why?
I paid for student license, $50.
Red Hat's market cap is $19 billion. They are an open source. You can download it all. All they make money is tech support, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Do we even need to look at Apple? I think they're $500 billion.
But still,
Microsoft's another $400 or $500 billion.
Well, Apple sell hardware, okay?
Yeah, it's
wait. Let's hold the phone.
well,
now.
just Microsoft alone is $500 billion.
Microsoft.
Microsoft's $500 billion.
Is that not enough money
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. They wouldn't if they did that, they wouldn't make anywhere near enough, but you'd still get the same stuff. Red Hat still exists.
Alright.
And you could argue open
You
source
could
would be
download
better
it all.
products.
Think about it. Windows already come to the market before the Red Hat started, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Windows have a upper hand saying like, oh, we have this thing,
They have
solve your
more-
problem. If the Red Hat has
Yeah.
to come up with a game, he has to come up with
I've
something
never even
that's
heard of
better,
Red Hat. What's
Then-
Red Hat?
Linux.
Oh, okay.
right?
Oh, they have to come up with something better?
Yeah, in order to dominate the market.
No, because
Isn't it- even
like
if
there was
they
Unix
closure-
you could have gotten too.
Yeah, how friendly is Unix?
Here's my question.
That's the thing. It's the Red Hat's just Linux, which is
How does Red Hat
some
actually
sort
make
of
money through open source? So how do they create the company to make money if they let everyone...
Like,
Message.
so the reason you would use Red Hat is to basically run servers.
Yeah.
Like most of a large portion of websites you visit are basically running that for their
Or
server.
running on Linux?
And then if you have technical problems, Red Hat helps them.
Okay,
helps you
that's
with
why
that.
I
where
was
they make their
confused of
money.
how they would make money through open source.
Yeah.
I think you just encourages creativity too. When you can't just make money off of selling, like for artists, you can't just make money off of selling CDs. What do you have to do? You have to tour and make money off of.
Yeah, you got to
Tours
make it off,
instead.
something else.
Yeah,
You actually got to do some freaking work. You can't just be like,
Merchandise.
I got one pretty good idea and I'm set for life.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just more lucrative.
And even when the artist wrote the song and actually performed it, it's mostly the producers making the money. not
Yeah,
the
exactly.
artists.
Yeah, it was
The
producers.
who owns the copyright of the song makes the most of the money. Right?
Yeah, some artists have been sued for playing their own song without permission.
Yeah. Isn't that ridiculous?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how far the
Record
copyright
companies
is.
screw people over for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Many people.
dude, did you see the...
That's why I
what are
think
those guys...
Napster helped the record industry.
Okay, first, have you seen the movie review of the Star Wars prequels?
Rogue One.
Red Letter Media. That's the people that make it. That's their YouTube channel. So they do movie reviews. They got famous through like this Star Wars prequels review that was hilarious.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But so I just watched one of their most recent YouTube videos where they look through this contest that was being sponsored by, I forget who the guy was. One of the directors that has just recently made it big. He directed one of the big blockbusters recently.
Yeah.
And he was discovered on YouTube, right?
Okay.
Like he made some 2 or 3 minute thing, and he was discovered on YouTube. And from that, he was given a big budget. He made movies. He got eventually a big blockbuster.
Mm-hmm.
So he then has now released on behalf of Warner Brothers a video saying like, basically you could enter this contest, and all you have to do is make a YouTube video like he did.
Uh-huh.
That's 2 to 3 minutes long, and I think it has to be a horror movie.
Okay.
All right, and if you win this contest, you have to enter it officially somehow in this contest, and if you win, you get to fly out and meet him and the other Warner Brothers executives and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the contest, right?
Uh-huh.
Now the guy in Red Letter Media did the crazy absurd thing of getting the contract that you actually have to officially sign when you enter this thing. Right? So when you say, I want to enter my video in this contest, you read through the agreement, right?
Uh-huh.
No one ever does, but they click the
no one
buttons,
ever
right?
reads that.
So everything they agree to, they agree that Warner Brothers has the right to purchase any idea contained within the video that it's entered for the total price of $50. All intellectual property rights, all of it, everything.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what you created, they have the rights for it. And if that director that is part of the contest isn't available that day, they don't actually have to have that director. It can be any other Warner Brothers executive.
Jesus Christ.
Like, they will just totally fuck you over. They will pay $50 for your idea. So they get like thousands of ideas that are going to be submitted.
Yeah.
They can choose any of them they want. They have the full right to make a motion picture. All they have to do is give you $50 if they even
That's
take any
fucked.
concept from you.
That's so fun.
And it's like, wow, yeah. So, so read the contract apparently, because they're gonna fuck you over.
That's ridiculous. Nobody does ever read those like agreements.
Of course not.
How well does this hold up in court when it's like?
No, that's why they say $50. If they said nothing, it wouldn't hold up. So they figure out the minimum amount that they can get away with giving you that is still considered just compensation, and they say that much.
But I'm saying on those forms when everyone just clicks agree no matter what.
Yeah.
Shouldn't there be like a pop-up or something that's forced to say like, if you agree to this, yada, like a warning, like if you agree to this.
No.
Yeah.
They're not legally required to do so.
No.
I know, I'm saying they
It's-
should be at some point. At some point if something affects you that
Yeah.
drastically.
So what you're doing is signing a contract saying that you agree to this agreement, right? And they, by law, provide you this agreement.
But couldn't you say that's misleading to enter a
No, the
contest
problem-
and then figure out that all your stuff is being bought for just $50?
The problem is, like, 100 years ago, how many legal contracts do you think a person entered to in
Exactly.
like, a day? One, like, every 2 years or something. They actually would read the thing. But today...
one every 2
I
years,
probably-
that's actually ridiculous. Like, before internet, who entered into one contract every 2 years? Maybe being hired is your only contract.
You might be right. That's the thing. But today, I probably enter at least one a day.
Yeah,
At least
at
one a
least.
day.
I haven't clicked I agree on something today. I guarantee you.
Yes, that's how they steal your personal information on those websites when you sign up.
Yeah, they say
But-
we're going to get it.
Yeah.
And you go, yeah, okay.
Every time you install an app, can we pull your photos? Yeah, sure, whatever.
That's why kids or listeners don't post the pictures or personal information on Facebook. Just use a dummy account.
So you're saying if I want to make money, screw over some younger millennials? Huh? Yeah, here's this contract, just click I agree.
That's literally what Warner Brothers makes money off of. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, they're
That's
totally
fucked.
harvesting ideas and, like,
Well, they're not doing very well on ideas.
That's true.
All they're making are bullshit.
well, they're trying to fix that by screwing over and up more people.
No, what's their problem is that it's not that they don't have ideas.
Mhm.
It's none of their people who's making a call have enough gut to use the new ideas. That's why.
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
what
like
they put it.
if they don't have any new ideas, there's some reason they're not being good ideas aren't being,
They're not being made,
Yeah.
even when they have the good ideas.
Mm.
Netflix is the only one. Well, Hulu's starting to do it, and Amazon as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Oh, they
You know what they really need though? A new superhero movie.
Good luck with that.
How long do you think it is before like cable just dies?
It should be.
I'm just shocked. It's like I don't. Do you watch cable?
I have cable, but it's only because I kind of have to through
Why?
Time Warner.
Why do you have to? You don't have to.
Well, because my roommate wants to have cable,
Why?
and it's only like $5 more or something to get the
It's
cable
more than $5.
package
It's
or
like
something.
20
I
at
don't
least, just for the basic package.
know. I think it's one of those things where he
Worthless.
wanted it, so it's like okay.
Fucking worthless.
Yeah, I don't get
Yeah.
it.
Well, you have a roommate, so it's. a hard
Yeah, I
one
can't
to
really.
drill.
Like I don't think I've had cable since 2009.
I honestly,
10?
I've never even turned it on.
It's been an extremely long time.
I had a friend over just the other day, and they were like trying to turn it on. I'm like, I'll just get my laptop and we'll plug in Netflix and YouTube. Like, I'll just because I didn't know how to turn it on to get to the cable. I was like, I don't even know if this has the cable on it. Like, the box might only be upstairs for his room. Like, I never watch cable.
Mm.
I feel like if it wasn't for sports, cable would be dead already.
Yeah.
ESPN has been losing money.
Yeah.
ESPN has, but
the thing is, they
They're
have
not the
such
ones
an
that show.
insane level of money to lose.
yeah,
you know,
that's
there's
true.
still billions of billions.
But they're also
of
not the
dollars
ones
a
that show the football games and stuff. That's like your ABC
No, they
and
have it.
NBC and all
year. They have
those.
some exclusive rights.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure they do, but mostly it's those big networks.
It's Disney's cash cow.
Mm.
ESPN is.
Disney owns ESPN?
Mhm.
Yep.
That's so weird. Because Disney pulled all their stuff from Netflix, so when they start a streaming account, they'll have like
Yeah, they're gonna start a stream.
they'll have it'll be such a weird channel. I guess it'll be another Netflix at that point.
There'll be a lot of
Their amount of
superhero
content.
shit, all the Disney shit, all the ABC shit,
Star Wars.
shit.
It'll be a big mix of channels. It really will be Netflix level mix.
I feel like they
With
should
a heavy
buy
focus on
Nintendo or
kids.
something. That would go well with
Do what?
buy Nintendo.
Um,
Because it's kid friendly, just like Disney.
yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Video game wise?
Like,
that
Like,
makes
yeah,
sense.
like your family,
Nintendo-
whole family could watch that shit.
Nintendo
play
is
that.
technically a Japanese company, right?
They can still buy it.
Yeah.
I know,
What prevents that?
but there's laws around it.
They can get controlling shares.
Uh,
They have subsidiaries, and I'm sure Japan. They have a Disney in Japan, don't they? A Disney Studios.
Disneyland.
Yeah, Disney whatever.
Disneyland.
Disneyland. I bet if they want fucking Nintendos, they'll get Nintendo and all the rights to everything.
There's one of those people that hold on to their rights for way too long.
Hmm.
Disney,
Yep.
like the Mickey Mouse and all those, like they're the
Oh,
problem,
right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Those fucks.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So where you know in the summer they have fireworks in Disneyland. You
Mm-hmm.
can see those pretty fireworks. It's actually a lot of residents around the area has complained about it because it's fire hazard, smoke, usual
Called.
California complaints.
This is a company with a lot of money that I can sue.
Yeah.
Then technically Disney should shut off all the fireworks, but because they're big enough,
Yeah, no one.
they can afford sending a lobbyist to Washington.
Yeah, exactly. No one in that city is ever gonna fight for
Yeah,
the behalf
good-
of the little
good
guy.
luck.
It's like, yeah, nope, Disney wins.
Yeah,
Good luck with that.
that's just at some
That's
point.
the problem. A lot of these things will never enter the what's it called when you can use their copyright.
Oh, yeah.
What's the public copyright thing called?
Public
domain.
Yeah.
So much stuff nowadays will never enter
Yeah, it's called
public
the
domain.
extension is called the Mickey Mouse Act because Disney's
Yeah.
the one that basically bought it.
Yes,
From
that's,
Congress.
Fuck.
that's where they're.
Because Mickey Mouse was about to
ego.
expire. No,
So we'll have so many things never enter public domain because of it, unless somebody passes a new law,
Mm-hmm.
which I think stifles creativity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because look at Disney. What do? They make a new show. Okay, that was a hit. Let's make 3 more of those
Mm.
instead of making something new, something different.
I don't know.
Although apparently they're doing that too, because we didn't even know about whatever that squirrel movie was. And there's a part 2.
Squirrel movie?
How
Exactly.
derivative is it? It's always the same fucking thing over and over again. I feel like if I've seen the same storyline a million
Like
times.
which squirrel movie?
Nut's Life or something about a Nut's Life or a Life of a Nut or some shit.
You know what
like
was
that.
really good? That movie was about the emotion.
I don't watch it. Still haven't seen it.
Pretty good.
Inside Out.
Inside Out. That was really
Pixar
good.
movie,
Nope.
Yeah.
That was a good one. It was a unique Disney
I'll
film.
probably watch it at some point.
That's Pixar.
That's the thing. Like I said, there's too
Well,
much
it's
shit
Disney.
out there. I still haven't seen that. I haven't seen probably
Disney
the last
owns
like
Pixar.
5 Pixar
I know,
movies.
but if you do look at it's pretty interesting.
I mean, Pixar
Personally-
probably has more free reign to do what they want to do, but Disney still owns them.
Yeah, it's actually pretty interesting. The Pixar still, if we've talked to the people from Pixar, some of them seem not particularly happy about the fact that Disney bought Pixar.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
I'm
if
sure.
you do look at the post Disney purchase of Pixar film versus before Disney purchased Pixar film, they do have to tune down
Yeah.
the level. Like,
Mm.
what the fuck is Cars 3? Why do you even need a
Mm.
Cars 3?
Because we want money.
We just said, because, we know it'll make money. And
Why
we know
do
we
we
have a
need-
license.
What the fuck is playing? Alright?
I really like to think
It's fucking stupid.
after Disney bought them,
And
they brought the Pixar execs into the room, and the Pixar engineers and the Disney execs, and they were like, so we decided to make the Cars 3. And all the Pixar execs and the Pixar's engineers were like, why? It was a creatively, loss. It was not that good. All the critics didn't really like it. And the Disney people just said,
Prince money.
Ka-ching. Walked out the fucking room. And then it got made.
Well, Pixar was bought from Disney before Cars was even made, wasn't it? Like,
No. I think Cars was made first.
Well,
it was like their first one that wasn't that well received critically, but kids still loved it.
Yeah.
But critics thought it's not really that good.
I never watched Cars.
I did. I watched the very first one.
Was
Toy
it good?
Story 3 is
No,
when
exactly.
Pixar getting bought.
That's why I never
It was
watched
meh.
it.
I mean,
Toy Story 3 was
it was
great.
okay if it wasn't
Yeah.
Pixar. For a Pixar film, it was like,
Man.
wow, really? That was a Pixar?
Yeah, they've lost credibility a
I
little
mean,
bit.
seriously, like Car 3, Plane, and I'm not saying like a Finding Dory, okay? Like Finding Nemo is good.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it.
Finding Nemo was good.
But Finding Dory, you could come up with some other storyline. I'm not saying the movie itself is not good, but like.
But you know why they did it?
Yeah, because the Finding Nemo.
Ka-ching!
Well, at least, Inside Out was something new, right?
Yeah.
It's a large fucking studio. It's such a large campus. You find someone with creative ideas. You can't just say like, oh, make a fucking sequel, and then have to
Yeah.
crunch all those hours, have those creative artists to come up with something new with their shitty idea of sequel.
I do feel like the problem with animation, though, is like, it's the Stephen King problem of, like, what shall we personify this time? Like, they just take something. Someone went, dude, what if we
But it's-
personify emotion?
But it's still better than basically what they do with making the car sequels, or like
Yeah.
when ABC they made Family Matters, and the first time they had Urkel on the set, and he knocked something over and goes, "Did I do that?" And they're like, "There was a big social thing, everyone loved it." And then from the rest of the series on, for about a decade, every episode, "Did I do that?" It's like, we're gonna have 10 years of that.
Well, now
because
this is
one
the
time
show.
people loved it.
That's all I remember from that show. It's like I don't remember there was a time before Urkel.
Yeah, I didn't actually. Like, apparently he was a side character. Then he had that one episode where he was like a big hit, and that was it. He was the rest of the
It's
show.
like, alright, taking over this one.
Yep.
I guess when you have that hit, you have that hit. You gotta make money somehow.
Mm-hmm. Because, ka-ching.
I do that.
You speak, for yourself about Jobs, but back when he was in Pixar, a lot of new ideas was found.
Yeah. He actually, that's one thing, I don't like, he was kind of an asshole, kind of did some shady shit,
Oh yeah,
but he wasn't creatively bankrupt. I'll give him that one.
Who?
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs.
Oh, yeah.
Not creatively bankrupt. He
That's
forged
true.
new areas.
And he can take the risk, creating something. Could be a flop, could be a huge success. At least something new to the market, right?
I can tell you what, I haven't been excited about any Apple product since he's died.
Oh, there was a great Onion article when they...
Let's get rid of the headphone jack. Huh?
Trying to be skinny.
Whoa, so brave.
Oh yeah, and
The-
then I remember watching the the new MacBook Pro launch. Like, oh, we created that touch bar, and then you have the DJ's doing that. The DJ barely can put his finger on it. Like, it's so tiny. It's so tiny. It used to operate on the thing that's about a big. And there's so much button to tune. They have plenty of space to land their fucking finger and that teeny tiny strip bar.
Oh my god.
That's a new great idea.
In the last Apple launch,
Bam.
Onion published an article saying the big reveal of this Apple launch was a desperate man with no ideas after his predecessor has left.
Man.
Seriously though, what have they innovated since then?
Dongle-based economy.
A
It
what
was
based on?
Dongle.
Dongle, yeah, right?
Watch is supposed to be a big thing.
But that was like every company came out with
Yeah.
the watches.
Everyone
Yeah.
did watches, and I don't think they were anything.
They really didn't catch on that
better.
much. I still see people wearing
Like,
them.
yeah,
It's not like...
it wasn't like they had the iPod and the rest had the Zune. You know,
Yeah.
it was like they had.
Yeah, it
watches
doesn't
now.
really matter.
You know, yeah.
So, let me put it that way. Just like phone, just like laptop, it made it marginally better than the product in the market.
Mm.
Right? The experience was better, and they do care about their customers. The price is high, right? And as always.
You know what they should include in the Apple Watch?
What?
So every time you turn it on, it should play the audio. Did I do that?
Isn't it always on?
Every time. Is it? No. Does the screen go off?
It just sleeps, right?
Save battery? It does to save battery. So every time you try to smack it on to see the time, did I do that?
Did I do that?
Because it worked once, right?
Yeah.
It's gotta work.
And you know what Apple's gonna say? Good cheat.
So it was when Steve Jobs was around, it was like, oh my god, this is fucking amazing, and turning into, this is better product.
Mm.
Yeah,
You know?
but Steve Jobs actually made something new or something different.
Yeah, that's
I remember when the iPod came out the first time. Those were fucking awesome.
Mm.
Like, wait, I can fit
I
my
remember
whole
the-
music collection
Yeah.
on here?
Alan had one before that was before the iPod, but it wasn't even a hard disk. What you got was like wasn't a CD either. It was like maybe bigger than a quarter,
Yeah,
like
I remember you
$half
talking
size, and then you plugged it in and it held maybe like a gig of music
about. Yeah.
or something. So you still had to interchange stuff, but it was basically an MP3 player. I think it might have been a Sony product.
Yeah, I think you're right. I remember something
I
like
remember
that.
it was, but it wasn't. It was niche.
But the iPod with
They
the
were all niche
wheel,
until the iPod.
that wheel thing, that
Yeah.
like, that was great.
I mean, iPod is a good product.
Mm.
iTunes is a piece of shit.
Mm.
Yeah, I always hated iTunes. That was the one thing I hated when I had an iPod was I had to use iTunes.
I remember having like a duplicate copies of fucking same song.
Yep.
Mm.
Like, dude.
Before iTunes, did you use Winamp?
Yeah, Winamp.
Winamp for the
Remember
win,
that?
man.
I
Yeah.
remember there are multiple different skins on the Windows.
Yeah, everyone knew the skins.
Yeah,
It
you
was
gotta
like
have your
big.
skin.
Oh, skins.
Oh my
So
god.
crazy.
We wasted so much time on the internet back then with
Yeah,
shit like that.
with just dumb shit like I gotta find the right desktop wallpaper, the right screensaver, the right skin for my
Yeah.
Winamp.
see.
I'm at the point where I just whatever the default is,
Yeah.
that's what I use.
I always
Oh.
go default now.
Oh, remember? There's also, like, you can find custom cursors for your cursor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Replace it with some games they're playing, like
Oh,
Neverwinter
man.
Night.
Yeah, I remember that all the
So
time.
ridiculous.
I remember actually randomly browsing the internet and just saving GIFs.
Yeah. Like, I'll use this one
Yeah.
day.
Oh, that's a good GIF.
I need that dancing baby on my hard drive.
Yeah, like, for real though. We would do that all the time.
Also, remember the...
I'd hate to see what's on a zip drive of ours. Like,
Oh
pull
yeah,
out
you
the
got it
zip
back.
drive.
And wait. If you could find a zip drive reader.
Yeah, that'd
Zip
be cool.
drives were
She's like, what the fuck
they're a
is a zip drive?
transition period between the
floppy disk.
floppy disk and the CD that lasted about a year and a half.
Okay, I never heard of that.
They're
It's
100
either
megs.
that or CD.
They're like 100 meg floppy disk,
Okay.
but they're like fucking massive. They're like if you took
3,
20, yeah.
3, maybe
No,
4. Maybe
no,
4.
I'd say 10. But you pushed them hard together, as hard as you could.
Okay.
Like you condensed them because they were really heavy,
Okay.
right? But they were like about 5 thick floppy
Okay.
disks, but much heavier than 5 floppy disks.
Yeah.
And you had this big ass like.
They
floppy
made a
disk
loud
drive
noise too when
popped
you
in.
plugged them in.
Oh yeah, like Jesus Christ. But 100 megs at the time was like, oh my god! You went from 3.14, which is the standard
Yeah.
floppy disk, to 100.
But then the CD came out, it was like 700. You're like, what the
But
fuck?
this still had an advantage though. It was read write.
Yeah, that's true.
CD-ROMs were read
CD
only.
you burn it once.
Yeah, as soon as you burned it, it was over.
So they still lasted a little after that year, but still, for the most part, 2 years later, people were like, "Remember zip drives? They were just like the 8 tracks. Like
Yeah.
you know, they lasted like."
Well, it's
That-
kind of
just
like soon
refreshing
after
the plan.
CDs, you just had your external hard drives. Like, this didn't
Yeah.
come too far after, so it's like, why would I
There's no real reason.
use that ever now?
Yeah. Remember the back in the day, external hard drive, and they're not really external hard drive. They're just fucking hard drives.
Mm-hmm.
You just hook it up.
Yeah, that's what made them
Who would use that
external.
for?
Mm-hmm.
I still have my external hard drive. It's like 500 megabytes. A Seagate
Yeah,
external hard drive.
Actually, before I met you, I have a hard drive. We use that as external hard drive, but literally, it's a hard drive.
Yeah,
I wonder how many useless files I have, not only on the hard drive, but just on my laptop. It's like 5 years old.
Yeah.
Think after 5 years, how many things you've saved on your computer that's just useless.
Actually, useless things.
You'll never ever
Oh,
look at it
shit.
Oh,
again.
yeah.
But you know what? Sometimes. So I wrote that website for gaming in about 2009. And about 2015, you're like, hey, remember that gaming website that you made that one time? I still had that. I still had it 7 years later. I was like,
That's crazy.
I even had the data.
We had like you had a game on there and stuff. I remember that. It was a Card Sharks. It was like a Card Sharks game. That was good. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Might as well add that to the Discourse Human Events website. Why not? Play Card Sharks while you visit. Alright, that's a good time to end it. That's going to be some
it's
admin.
probably too much.
Peace out, homie!